Good afternoon, student. Now, my name is Shyam Patil. I am a educator of accountancy, Gajera International School at Katargam. Now, today, student, I start the one part of our topic, chapter 4, T.S. Grewal, change in profit sharing ratio among the existing partner. Now, in this one is the fourth number chapter in board exam. The value of this chapter is 3 to 4 marks. Now, here in this chapter, we will learn the two main matters. One is sacrifice ratio and one is gain ratio. Now, related to this two ratio, 3 marks question asked in the exam. Now, here, first of all, before starting the gain ratio and sacrifice ratio, first of all, I want to explain the what is the meaning of partnership. Okay, so here students, all of you already know that partnership is nothing but the one of the business which started two or more than two person who have agreed to share the profit of the business carried on by all or any of them acting for all. This type of the business is called partnership business. Now in 11th standard you have already learned the individual business. Now in 12th standard partnership business is important. So first of all, meaning to know the partnership business is must, and that's why I written here the definition of partnership. So again I repeat, partnership is nothing but it is the relationship between the two or more persons who have agreed to share the profit of the business carried on by all or any of them acting for all. So this type of business is called partnership business. Now another one is when the firm is reconstituted. When firm is reconstituted or change in profit sharing ratio. That means student, we have already know that okay, here when two or more person mutually join to each other and start the business, at that time they decided to share the profit and loss. Okay, so whatever the ratio they decided before starting the business, this ratio they will not continue for long period of time. So in certain circumstances they can change this ratio. So what are these circumstances, and when these circumstances arising at that time all the partners change the profit sharing ratio. So these are the four circumstances I have written here, A, B, C, D. Now A means when all partner mutually decided to change the profit sharing ratio. That means here when two or more than two partners start the business, at that time they decided to distribute the profit and loss. They decided the ratio to distribute the profit and loss. And if the ratio is not decided, that means the profit and loss is equally distributed. Now here, when all partners mutually decided to change in profit sharing ratio. So before starting the business, whatever the ratio is decided by the partners, okay, after certain period of time, if some partners is decided, okay, now they want to change the certain they want to change the profit and loss ratio, at that time when all partners are agree, at that time this condition is possible to change the profit sharing ratio. Now here second condition, at the time of admission and retirement of the partner. So listen student, here again at the time of admission, why the existing partner decided to give the permission to new person to admit as a in a partnership firm as a partner, or why existing partner want to decide to get their membership from the partnership firm, that means they retire from the partnership firm because of that there are so many reasons. So when this type of condition arising in a business, at that means at that arising in a business, at that time the existing partner has give the permission to new partner admit in a firm. Sometime existing partner retire from the partnership firm. So when this type of condition is arising, at that time we should change the profit sharing ratio. Third condition is at the time of death of the partner. At the time of death of the partner, we have already know that life is uncertain. So any time in future certain incidents is happening with any partner, and due to this incident, if any partner death arising in a future, at that time our remaining existing partner decide want to change the profit sharing ratio. Another one is when two or more partner, two or more firm. See here, sometimes the partners has started the business, but due to some conditions, due to some loss or due to some other reason, when they want to merge their firm with other firm, at that time the change in profit sharing ratio is also required to decide. Okay, now students, we know that okay, here when partners change the profit sharing ratio, at that time some partners has getting benefit while some partners has getting loss. So partners who getting loss, okay, getting loss in the sense means sacrifice. Okay, those partner who has getting less amount, then after changing the profit sharing ratio, that means this partner has sacrificed. And those partners who is getting a more amount, after changing the profit sharing ratio, that means this partner is getting a gain. So here sacrifice ratio and gain ratio we should find out at the time of changing the profit sharing ratio. Okay, whose partner is getting a gain and whose partner getting a sacrifice. So formula for finding out the sacrifice ratio is is equal to old share minus new share, while formula for finding out the gain ratio, new share minus old share. Okay, so student, keep this thing in your mind. For formula for sacrifice ratio and gain ratio, sacrifice ratio means old share minus new share. In short, you can remember this thing in form of this on. And if you find a formula for gain ratio, new minus old, that means in short you remember this formula in form of no. Okay, on means sacrifice, no means gain. O n means old minus new, and no means, and no n means new share minus old share for gain. Now students, let's we take the one example for this sacrifice ratio. Now here I have written here one example. Okay, here A and B are the partners of the firm. They share the profit and loss equally. Okay, equally, that means here student 1:1. That means when A and B started their firm, they have decided to share the profit and loss of the business equally. But with effect from the 1st April 2022, they decided to change their ratio due to this four condition. Due to any one of these four condition, partners has decided from 1st April 2022, they decided to change their ratio, and they decided to change their ratio in this way, 4:3. Okay, they decided to change their new ratio 4:3 proportion. Now after changing, after old ratio and new ratio, we will find out, okay, due to changing this ratio, okay, whose partner getting benefit and whose partner getting loss. Now one more important thing I will explain here. Okay, when you calculate the gain ratio, student, keep this thing in your mind. When you calculate the gain ratio and if your answer comes in minus form, at that time it indicates that this partner is sacrifice. And when you calculate the sacrifice ratio and answer come in minus form, that means this partner is getting a gain. Okay, so this one is the short key to remember whose partner is getting gain and whose partner is getting sacrifice. So now here in sum, see here A and B are the partner of the firm. When they start the business, at that time they decided to distribute the profit and loss equally, that means 1:1 firm. But after the certain period, after out of this any four condition, they decided to change their profit sharing ratio from 1st April 2022. They decided to change their ratio in form of 4:3. Now we calculate here, question is given, calculate the sacrifice ratio. So we will use the formula of sacrifice. So sacrifice ratio is equal to old share minus new share. Now old share is student, old share is given 1:1. So total of this is 2. So here for A 1/2, B 1/2. Okay. Now minus new share. New share is given 4:3. That means total is 7. So here 4/7, here 3/7. Clear? Now here let's we take the this thing you can calculate through taking a LCM. Otherwise, if you have face any problem, then this one is the shortcut way. Here 7 to the 14. So 14 is here. Same way 7 to the 14, 14 is here. Then use the cross multiply method. That means 7 ones are 7 and 4 to the 8. Same way 7 ones are 7, 3 to the 6. So 7 minus 8, you got a minus 1 upon 14. And here 7 minus 6, that means 14. Okay, 7 minus 6 is equal to 1 upon 14. That means here the when you calculate the sacrifice ratio, here A is getting a answer in minus form. So what I say, when you calculate the sacrifice ratio and answer comes in minus form, that means this partner is getting a gain. That's why I have written here gainer. And here B, see here B, the answer comes in positive form. So this partner is sacrifice. So I hope student all of you understand this thing, sacrifice ratio. And same way here take the some more example from the TS Gravel and take the calculate the gain ratio. Thank you.